to Off the Record, talking real estate with Joe and Makayla. If you're interested in the Portland, Oregon real estate market and want the unvarnished inside scoop, you've come to the right place. Thanks for giving us a listen. Okay, welcome everyone. Thanks for joining us. Hello, Makayla.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fantastic. We just shot another episode of our Live Portland Grub Guide, which, if you haven't checked it out, go to our website, liveportland.com, or you can go to our YouTube channel, and we'll have it there. But we are going around Portland and Hillsborough, around town, doing little reviews on food trucks and the communities around them, and food, communities, homes, it all kind of meshes into one for us. So we thought we'd jump into that. And we just got back from shooting our second episode of that, and I'm stuffed.
I am too. It was fun. We did a burger place. Mm-hmm. You'll have to go to our website or to YouTube to check out which burger place.
Yeah.
And then we just posted our first episode, which was Oregon Fish Co.
Mm-hmm. Which was fantastic. They treated us so well.
They did. That was a fun little review. So look out for those. We're going to hopefully do 2 a month.
2 or 3, I think, right?
Yeah. But it's been fun so far.
Don't do the Grub Guide before doing the podcast.
Yeah.
Because I am on nap. Slow. I am on Nap Central right now.
Me too.
Golly.
I'm pretty sure I almost broke every single piece of podcast equipment trying to set this up. It was
you were really struggling.
Real mess.
Really struggling.
So,
are you put together now, though? You got your stuff together all in one place?
We'll find out.
Okay, good. Yeah, so we've had an eventful day, but we have a fantastic topic. And this was a topic that was suggested by a friend of the podcast, Miss Kelsey Stats, who's a good friend of ours. She wanted us to do a podcast on how to navigate HOAs when buying a home or condo, what you need to know, and why it's so important. And, everyone thinks of HOAs around mostly condos, but there's a lot of HOAs for neighborhoods. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot you need to know when you're looking to buy a house or buy a condo that you might be surprised about. So we're excited to jump into that and help you guys understand that and figure out how to navigate that in your next purchase.
Yeah, a lot of due diligence there. When I first wrote this, it was a little dense, so hopefully we can just hit the main points and it can be digestible to you. But let us know if you still have questions.
HOAs in general, some people love them, some people hate them, and some people both, myself included.
It's
I
very
love them.
Skewed.
Yeah, it is skewed. I both love them and hate them.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
Depending on the day of the week, quite frankly.
Right. Or some HOAs you just know they're going to be a mess walking into it.
Yeah.
With neighborhoods, it feels less important. Sometimes it depends on what the HOA covers, right?
Yeah.
So if it's just covering like maintenance around, like lawn care here and there, or if it's there to we see a lot where they have in gated communities, it just covers the maintenance of the front gate.
Yeah. That's
not too big of a deal, but, the ones in condo or townhome buildings, they're managing a lot for you. Exterior maintenance, they're paying your sewer, trash, and water most likely. So there's a lot of variables there, and what I think people get scared of is those special assessments that can creep up in a condo building, which we'll get into. But there's definitely a distinction between a home, a single family home neighborhood and building HOA. So we definitely want to make sure we remind people of that.
Did you know that I have an HOA in my neighborhood?
I did, because your neighborhood's beautiful.
I'm going to just right up front tell folks why I love it and also why I hate it.
Okay, let's go.
I love it because it includes the front yard lawn care. And
nice.
They mow the lawn, they trim the lawn, they seed it. They also take care of the bushes in front of the house and trim those back.
That's great.
Plant, replant, the trees, the tree care, all of that stuff. And it just keeps the neighborhood looking just really, really tight across the board. Every single one of the homes looks great.
It does. It's very uniform.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Why do you hate it?
Well, I hate it because they send you little nasty grams saying, it looks like your home needs to be painted, or, Your roof is maybe nearing the end of its useful life. We haven't got that one. We got it needs painting, and we're like, we're on it. We're getting there. Give us a minute. So we did end up getting that done. Some of the other ones are, there's too many wine bottles in your recycling bin.
Stop.
No, I'm teasing on that one.
You would definitely lose at that. I'm certain.
Oh
my gosh, that's so funny. So is your HOA governed by a homeowner who lives in the neighborhood, or is it governed by a management company?
Management company.
Okay. So my question is, who's going around and driving by the neighborhood taking notes on paint?
They've got police. The HOA police are out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they do it
monthly?
quarterly.
No,
they do it like quarterly.
Okay.
And honestly, they're very nice and they're great. They just, sometimes they're
Don't come for him.
Yeah, don't come for me, people. Sometimes they're just a little aggressive with some of that stuff, but it's great. They organize garage sales for us twice a year. We haven't done that since we had an incident. It's a long story, but...
Okay. Maybe we'll save it for the end.
Yeah, we'll save it for the end. But all those type of things. So, that's kind of my love-hate relationship with our HOA, and I'm sure a lot of other people can talk about it and feel that pain. But let's talk about the basics. Maybe some people out there don't know what a homeowners association really is. It's an association.
I don't know what it is either.
Makayla loves it when I put her on the spot. So essentially, it's an association that cares for either the building or the neighborhood and has certain duties and responsibilities. You pay a certain amount every month or year or quarter or whatever into the kitty to make sure that there's funds to get that done. So that's the basics of it.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Sounded like a Wikipedia description. That was great.
Nailed it.
Right off. Good job. So, now that we've gotten past that, hopefully now everyone has an understanding of what
Jump that hurdle.
is.
Yeah.
We get into the stuff that it's very important to pay attention to when you're considering purchasing a home that might be in an HOA. So right off the bat, if you have identified that you would like to make an offer on said property and that property is in an HOA, we start doing a lot of back-end due diligence for you, or as much as we can possibly do, while putting that offer together. So we're going to figure out who the heck runs the HOA. Is it a management company? Is it a homeowner within the neighborhood? What documents can we find right now? And are there any pending or current special assessments? And that one specifically is for buildings. And then the other thing we look for is if the HOA has transfer fees. Because when we're putting together an offer for you, we may want to negotiate the seller paying for those transfer fees or paying off a pending litigation.
Right.
Do you want to talk about what a special assessment is really quickly?
Typically, special assessments are for condos, but they can be for single-family dwelling neighborhoods as well. But condos, townhouse buildings, those type of things, a lot of the ones that we see are like for siding or plumbing, or like there's a building that a client of mine was looking at out on the Oregon coast. It was an older building. It was built in the, I want to say the 50s. But it's a prime location right on the beach. It's fantastic. But it's older. He wanted to make an offer. I said, yeah, that sounds good. Let me make a call and just ask some preliminary questions. I called a listing broker. He let me know that there was an assessment that was being voted on. And the assessment was for redoing the envelope of the building, which is a big one. The siding, it was the Oregon coast, so the siding it was good at one point, but the Oregon coast is unforgiving.
Sure
and over time, decades, it had just gotten worn to the point where it was not keeping moisture out from inside the siding. So there was some rot, different things going on. So all the siding would have to be taken off, and the envelope, the barrier between the siding and the structure would have to be ripped off. Any dry rot or any issues that were found after that would have to be taken care of. Then they put a new envelope on it, re-side it, we're talking doors, windows,
Yeah, I mean, that's
all of it.
So extensive.
And to the tune of, I mean, this is a $500,000 condo.
Okay.
And the assessment was going to be for $50,000.
Oh, wow. Per unit.
Per unit.
Wow.
With probably about 12 to 15 months of no one being able to be in the building.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
They're never going to be able to sell that place.
We made an offer. It was not accepted. They felt it was too low. But
boy.
My client built in the assessment cost.
Yeah, no.
And loss of rental income.
Yeah.
You still got to pay your property taxes, and you still got to pay your HOA fees.
Sure. Wow, that's crazy.
So, I mean, I thought it was a good offer. They just, sounds like they just want to hold on to it, though, and see where the value's at after all of this.
That's fair.
Yeah, so,
Wow.
no harm done. But those are the type of things, other assessments we see. There was a building here in the Pearl a couple of years ago that had a good portion of its plumbing. There were these valves in the plumbing that were faulty.
Oh, awesome.
And within 3 years of the building being completed, these valves started failing. And so, yeah.
What a mess. That's horrible.
So, these were $600,000 to $800,000 per unit, and the assessments on those were $40,000 to $60,000, depending on the size. Yeah,
That's
can you imagine
crazy.
that?
No.
Buying a new $800,000 condo in the Pearl and then having a $60,000 assessment.
No, that makes my stomach hurt.
Yeah, and the assessments can be done over time.
Right, that's key.
There's financing you can have. There's a lot of different things. So it's not like they're saying, "Hey, I need $60,000 next week."
Right. There's a lot of options, but
Yeah.
still, it's going to be increasing the amount you spend per month on the place.
Yeah.
So it's something you want to be aware of. And a lot of times people pay these off over several years. So if, maybe they've been paying it off for 5 years and you're offering on a place in that scenario, and it might still have a balance, well, then the seller can pay off the rest of that balance at closing because they likely are going to have proceeds from the sale that can cover that.
Hopefully.
But it's something we want to negotiate if we can.
So let's talk about the contingency that's in the sales agreement. So if the property you're purchasing, whether it be a condo or a home in a neighborhood or whatever, your broker will have a document that says, hey, this is part of a planned community that has an HOA. We are requesting for all of the meeting minutes, budget items. There's about, 12 or 14 different CC&Rs, all those type of things that we ask for. And the one I love reading is the meeting minutes.
Oh, that is good stuff.
Sometimes, yeah.
Better than reality TV.
A lot of times it is very, very entertaining. But we ask for all those things, and they have, usually between 3 to 5 days to deliver those docs. And then upon delivery, you as the buyer would have 7 business days to review those and get back to them with any issues you may have. Or if you find out that something is drastically wrong, which I think you're going to tell us a story here in a little bit about one scenario that you happened to catch because you read through it very carefully and found something that was like, whoa, this is big.
Yeah.
You can terminate the transaction because of that. And I think your client did that, didn't they?
Yeah. A lot of people find comfort in this contingency because it's separate from the inspection contingency. And there is a lot to read through. And if you aren't familiar with reading through these documents, it can feel like really daunting, I think. So we always read them, but not all brokers do. So just beware. Once you receive those documents, read them if you can. At the very least, scan them. I would scan like the financials at the very least and then the recent meeting minutes. But yeah, we had a situation a couple years ago. I was representing a client buying a condo in Southeast Portland, and I think it was like $275,000, cute corner ground level condo. And this poor client we'd been looking for 7 or 8 months. We finally got under contract, and I caught something weird on the docs, and so I looked further into it, and this wasn't presented in the listing, even though the seller was very well aware of the fact that in 5 years the land under the condo building was going to be for sale. So many years ago when they built the building, they had leased the land instead of purchasing it.
Like a 50-year lease.
Yeah. So that was coming to an end. So the homeowners were either going to have to come together and buy the land.
Not buyer friendly.
Nuts.
Yeah.
So that was, I mean, I'm glad we caught it. And then they ended up backing out and we found them something else. But it was just crazy. Like our escrow officer that I was working with, she'd never heard of anything like that before. Our lender didn't either. So
yeah, so that's a big one. CC&Rs, the bylaws of how the HOA is governed, budget and financials is a big one. You want to know, especially if you're in a condo building, what kind of reserves the condo has,
yes.
What type of cash on hand they have, what's their cash flow. You don't want to buy something where the management is in a bad way financially.
Right.
That's not where you want to be, because you as the owner and the rest of the owners will be held accountable for all of that. So that's a tough one. That there's the reserve study of the long-term maintenance and the planning that goes into it. And that goes back to the the different things that come up, the assessments and all those type of things. But you want to look at the meeting minutes, see what the drama is in the neighborhood or in the building. It can be very entertaining. Plus, are there any lawsuits or major repairs? Or even if it's not an assessment, you'll want to know, oh, hey, they're replacing all the windows. And when they get to my side of the building, I'm going to need to vacate for a month or something like that.
right. All things you want to know.
Yeah.
Also,
and we're making it sound really scary right now.
Good things to know.
But these are good things to know what you're getting into.
90%, let's knock on wood, because I'm reviewing HOA docs tomorrow. Let's say 75% of the time, the HOA docs are flawless and nothing to worry about.
Yeah, and the reserve study is great, and the financials are good, the budget looks good.
Right.
The insurance summary, all of that looks good.
But sometimes it's not. And this is why we have this contingency.
That's right. That's right. So, tips for reviewing HOA docs. We mentioned that the meeting minutes can be kind of entertaining. That's about it, because the rest of it's pretty dry.
Joe will imitate the meeting minutes. It's pretty hysterical.
Am I going to imitate the meeting minutes right now?
We don't have any for you to, but you always
would.
make voices for them.
Yeah, whenever Makayla and I come across something that is entertaining, we always kind of do a back and forth. And then the president said, "We shall not speak of these things now." And then, homeowner A said, "Of course we will. Why don't you ever want to talk about this?" But the rest of it can be pretty dry.
Right.
But it's important information, so make sure you either review it yourself, and we highly recommend that, or make sure that your broker has reviewed it and has given you a summary of what their thoughts are on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. ChatGPT is another good one.
It is. So you can just drop a document into ChatGPT and ask it to summarize it for you. That's a great way for, things to be broken down.
Yeah, and you can ask ChatGPT, what do you see in here that may be an issue for a possible purchaser?
Right.
Which is scary that
It
they
is
can do that.
scary, but hey, use it to your advantage.
I'm old school. I want to see it with my own eyes.
Oh, yeah, me too.
I don't trust AI to tell me what's good and what isn't good.
Well, I trust AI with a lot, honestly, but not like something like this.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
The neighborhood I grew up in, it was a homeowner-governed HOA, and there was this woman, our neighbor. She was such a nut job. And so anytime we talk about HOAs, she is all I can think of.
Oh, wow.
Her name was Benita, and she was
Benita.
5 feet tall and had, like, crazy hairdo. We're pretty sure she killed her husband.
Right, sure.
And
it's pretty standard.
She was always just screaming, like chasing people down. If our garage was like half open, she would like come underneath it and knock on our inside garage door.
Benita.
She was nuts. So
Sounds like a
afraid of her.
Dateline episode.
It should be.
Wow.
She's actually in the news, but that's a story for another time.
Man. That was one spicy neighborhood you lived in.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
There was a lot.
Throw your craziness in there. That had to have been something.
Oh, yeah. Crazy 10-year-old.
Those Trelawney kids racing around.
Just wild.
Jeez. So give me your closing thoughts on this, Mac. We need to wrap this thing up for people.
Sure. HOAs can be great or not great, but make your own opinion about them. Like, we understand if you have negative stories or experiences, but I think with the right due diligence, they can be just fine, and you'll 99% of the time not have to worry about them once you're in it. So try to go in with an open mind, but take your time to read through the docs and make sure you have representation that's advocating for you through this process.
Yeah.
So you can know what you're
taking your
into.
time to read through it too. Mm-hmm. Don't rush through it. Read through them, and make some notes about what you maybe don't understand or have questions about, or like, is this bad?
Mm-hmm.
What's going on here? It's one of those things where it's a double-edged sword. It can be great. There's really a lot of pluses about it, but you want to know what the negatives are and whether you can handle those or not.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
well said.
Be informed, be strategic. You wrote that down in the notes. I thought that was really good.
Thanks.
Yeah.
It's all me, a big brain.
Yeah.
Okay,
people. Our promise to you moving forward is no podcast after the Grub Guide, because this was just a little bit loopy.
Well, I think they're used to loopy.
Yeah, we offer up a lot of loopy on this pod.
Mm-hmm, sure do.
Yeah. But we appreciate you guys. Thanks so much for listening. You can catch us on liveportland.com. That's livportland.com, and also our YouTube channel. What else? The Grub Guide. Where can you find the Grub Guide?
YouTube. It's a playlist on our YouTube.
It's a lot of fun. And, people ask, well, why are you doing that? Well, for us, food and community kind of rolls all into one. Mm-hmm. And where you live and the areas you might be interested in, food and community matter, and that's why we're trying to address that, and we just like to eat.
Mm-hmm. Sure do.
I had a smash burger, double smash burger with bacon today.
Just so good.
That was phenomenal.
And I had a fried chicken sandwich.
We're going to do sushi-ritos next week, burrito style sushi, and it is phenomenal, people. I can't wait to have that.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
Tune in.
Yeah. When my boys hear about this, there's going to be multiple orders for sushi burritos. Yeah. Okay, folks.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
Thanks for joining us today. If you're interested in finding out more about Joe, myself, or the Live Portland team, you can go to liveportland.com. Thanks for giving us a listen, and see you next time on the Off the Record podcast.